Are we live? We are live. Okay. I just wanted to check every time. I just go to my phone and so let me move you here. Okay, let me just center you as well. Good. What is the plan for today? So this is my plan. My dream is to build a video game. And I realize, okay, if my dream is to build a video game, I should work on it. Fuck, just a second. Oh, okay. So my dream is to build a video game one, and I have no idea. Game development outside of my intellectual reach. I think you really need to be someone who dabbled in many different areas, from programming to modeling, writing and game creation, world creation, in order to create good games. And I know it's possible for a single person to do this. You know, you have a guy. I don't know if you know him. I mean, I'm just joking. You know, in Concerned Ape, he built Stardew Valley, which is one of my favorite games of all times. I synced at least 100 hours in it. Bah. So I'm gonna continue with this. This is my playground. I'm just playing with this. I'm just doing stuff. Where I stopped yesterday, I created this prefab here, and this prefab here has a different color, but for some reason they're still all gray. Can I close this guy? Yeah, maybe just let's increase it. They're all gray, so here somewhere I should see something called the scene lighting. It should be a light bulb. Orientation. This is my 5th time, maybe, doing anything Unity. I would usually, where tool settings, draw movie option orientation, blah blah blah. I don't care. Cameras? No, I don't need this. And I would usually skip all of this, but I think a really important part of familiarizing yourself with an app that you are going to use is, you know, understanding where all the features are, functionality is, buttons, how you can, you know, find yourself in whatever tool you're using. So what I'm looking at, so the scene view toolbar. Wait, where is the scene view toolbar in Unity? Ah, so this is it. This is the scene view toolbar, and here somewhere and see here somewhere there should be a light bulb icon. I don't see it, unfortunately. is the scene? Toggle skybox. Bum bum bum. Hmm. Okay, none of these are what type. None of these are what I'm looking for. Wait, let me Google this again. Unity screen lightning light bulb. This, I think this is the final frontier where Google is still used. If you don't know, if you need an image reference, Unity screen lightning button. Where is it? So if you need, as I said, if you need wait, window rendering lightning, but it's not this is not it, man. Okay, someone between 2D and the audio toggle, there used to be a light bulb icon to toggle the scene view light on and off. Between the 2D here and the light bulb. No, I don't need audio. I have the draw mode, but it's still not colored. It's still not colored. Hit play. Okay, I hit play. First of all, I need to set the camera so it films. Will it work now? All right, so all of them are here. Why are they not colored? What if I had a new one? Ah, okay. So they are retroactively colored. They're only colored if I they're only colored. Yeah, okay. So they're only colored once I add them to the scene. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. So what's the next thing I can do here? For anyone who just joined, I started learning Unity. I want to build a video game my whole life, and I never had any experience with Unity. And I said I really like it because it combines so many different things, from modeling, shading, rendering, programming, of course, audio editing, mixing and syncing, like all these 3D, of course, all these cool things. So every other program we have our progress, and I want to save my progress, but if I click Control S, I saved it. But I did it already once, I think. And this created a new asset. This created a new scene file. So if I do here, open scene, scenes. So this is SA2. So this is my scene that I've been using where I created my playground, basically. Okay, now, even though my plan is to build a 2D game, something reminiscent of Earthbound and early Pokemon games, and Stardew Valley, and what else? What else? Chrono Trigger, something similar to that. The old Personas as well. You know, I need to know how to build, because I know the basic concepts now. I need to know how to build and design levels, like terrains and landscapes, and using 3D meshes to do all of this. So let's start this. Okay, this is my playground. So this is my playground, and I can do whatever I want. So I'm gonna do a new scene. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, is this it? Built-in URP, basic URP. A scene network bus contains a camera and directional light. Let's create a new one. Okay, but can I create a new name? How the hell do I change the name of this? Create. Unities are really weird app. Like, really weird app. How do I don't know. So I need to create like a terrain. Why you know, what the terrain is. There's a vista containing of greenery, of different hilly areas, rivers, mountains, flat areas. Maybe in city, like we could have roads and stuff like that. I can't use cubes for this. I could use maybe a 3D modeling software, but first of all, I don't know how to model. Second of all, how will it work? How will it work is the question. So I can use Unity's terrain system. So let's do this. So here it says, if we create a giant area of the game, and we have hills, canyons, craters, valleys, let me just do something. So listen to this. Let's discuss height maps. We have an area, right? We have an area. We created a game. There's an area. The area has, as I said, certain real life geographical elements, like, I don't know, hills, canyons, rivers, flat terrain, mountains, stuff like that. I could create that using 3D modeling tools if I knew how to 3D model. But what I'm using is I'm gonna create these fully detailed 3D models for objects at all possible distances, and I would waste resources on rendering details that, they won't be available if the object is far away. But if we are at a certain point here, I need to also view this part of the terrain, of the environment, from certain distance. So we need to manage our resources the best way we can. So Unity has a terrain tool, and the terrain tool has a technique called height maps, and these height maps will generate the terrain in a good, performative, and dynamic way. So instead of generating large 3D models for the whole terrain, it uses an image called a height map, which is, well, a height map is more or less like a top-down black and white photo of the terrain. So let me just show you that. Okay. Let me just move this graph. First, let me resize it a bit. Dum. No way. I need more. I don't want these borders here. Okay. Amazing. What have I said? It's a height map. Not a height mag, a height map. Yeah, but first of all, let me just try to understand how to move my camera a bit better. So I can click Alt and I can drag it so it moves myself around the camera. All right. If I, all right, hold Alt and I zoom in and out, I'm zooming basically, but in and out. If I hold the middle mouse button, I can pan around. Or if I hold, no, this doesn't work. So I can hold the right mouse button and I can use WASD to move, and I can use E and Q to move up and down. I can select an object, I can press F, it's gonna focus on that object. So that's it basically. That's it. I just wanted to make sure I know this basic thing. So let me go back. Height map. So height map is a grayscale image that stores height information for terrain or surfaces. White meaning it's high elevation, black meaning it's low elevation. So it's a grayscale image holding terrain info. White means high elevation, black means low elevation. So Unity will use this to generate or modify 3D shapes without us manually creating. So Unity will generate 3D shapes. Cool. How it works. So Unity looks at each pixel's brightness, 0 to 255. This value is interpreted as a height offset in the terrain. So if we have an image, let me just show you, maybe I can find a height map. So this is a height map. Unity will read each pixel's brightness, and this value will be interpreted as a height offset in the terrain. And when we apply this to a terrain, the black pixels will keep, or inverse, depends. The black pixels will keep the ground low and white pixels will raise it high. I think maybe this is a better representation of it. And everything in between will create slopes. And basically, if you look at this, it's nothing more than a it's called topographic. Yeah, I think it's a topographic map. But instead of lines, we have these smooth shades of gray, and they form hills, they form mountains, and they form valleys. So how can we do this? How can we do this? Yeah, by the way, the most common uses for this are terrain sculpting, like for mountains, valleys, and craters. Also procedural world generation, displacement effects in shaders, physics, stuff like that. So. How can we generate? How can we create a height map? Let's move this away from this game object. Game object, 3D object, and then I find terrain. What has happened? Has anything happened here? I don't think anything changed, but I see the inspector has now a terrain object right here. This is a completely empty terrain. Where is it? Where's the terrain? Can I focus on it? F? Does it even exist? Ah, it's here. For some reason it was flat. Okay. So there are some options here. I can most probably configure the size and resolution of this terrain's height map. And then I go here in terrain, and I should click here on this mountain icon on terrain settings. And now I have the configuration mode enabled. And I should look for mesh resolution right here. And I can change terrain width and terrain height. I don't know, let's put 500 here, 500 there. Height? No, wait, what if I put 0? I can put 0 for the height. What if I put 500? What if I put 600? I don't know. How is this working? So I think it's lying flat on the surface, but I don't know why the height doesn't change at all. Doesn't care. Ah, here it says terrain height determines the maximum height possible. Okay. So this is the maximum height possible. Currently this is flat, so that's the height. The height is 1 most probably. Okay, no. Where is the texture now? What else do I have here? Lightning, light mapping. There's a lot of options here, man. Fuck. There's a lot of options here. I should have as well here texture resolutions as well. Ah, here it is. And can I reduce it? Yeah, let's reduce it. So this is the height map resolution. So what's the height map resolution? That is the size of the height map image that will hold the heights of the different parts of the terrain. So I use 257, 257. What does this mean? Wait. Okay, let me just go back here. Again, so how did I create a terrain? So I go game object, 3D object, and then I say terrain. Now, what is the height map resolution? When Unity asks for height map resolution, it's called height map resolution or height map size. It's asking how many data points, how many pixels does your height map have across its width and length? It's basically how detailed the map is. It's basically like a grid. Imagine, so I have a grid here, and let's say each square has one height value from the height map, each one of these squares right here. Now the resolution will tell Unity how many squares are along each side. So I don't know if it's 33 by 33, it means that depending on the size of our, depending on the size of our terrain, if I have 33 blocks right here, it's a very blocky terrain. But if I have 1000 blocks, it's much finer. We have smoother hills, we have sharper peaks, we have better. Let me just zoom in out a bit, I'm sorry. Because I want to fit my whole 160. Yeah. Right map. Okay. Because I want to fit the whole page here. Now, resolution is not the physical size, because resolution is the number of height points, and the terrain size can range from what do we have here, 500 by 500 to whatever you want. And I created 257, so 257 terrain width, we're gonna have 257 points on this terrain width of 500 by 500. Can we now generate this? So terrain width and terrain length. Let's say we are giving them in meters. Nice. So what's another setting? The terrain height. Okay, so we also have the initial terrain height. Where is the initial terrain height here? Terrain, I'm looking for terrain here. This is basic terrain. It's here. So this is the paint terrain button. And I should have here somewhere set height. And I'm gonna set it to 50. You can set the height property manually, or you can, I don't care about this. I thought it explains what height does. But basically what height does, it will say that all of our terrain will start at 50 meters. And then we can also make holes in our terrain as well. And I should also have a button here that says flatten all. So the terrain has been raised by the 50 meters. Because the terrain has been raised from the ground point by 50 meters, and I said that my height is 600 meters, so I have 550 meters of space to work on vertically wise. Okay. So what do I need now? I'm going to terrain here again in the hierarchy panel. I'm gonna stay here in the paint terrain section, and I'm gonna click the drop down. I'm gonna go raise or lower terrain. I have this brush here. Maybe I can increase the brush size a bit. And maybe I can reduce the opacity a bit. So I increase the brush size in order to create bigger areas. And the opacity will reduce the amount of height we paint per second. And now, can I zoom in? Can I zoom in? Okay. Maybe I'll reduce it a bit more. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Oops. Amazing. I also have this checked pattern. It helps me to see the real size of the objects I'm editing. And each cell here, it's a square meter. Okay, so now I'm just painting cells. Again, no idea why am I doing this, because I wanted to build a 2D game the whole time. But I mean, playing with this and learning stuff, I think is good as well. And I think the game that I'm gonna build will have some assets, I think, AI generated. Okay. So I just want to paint these borders here so no one can leave. I mean, this is simple enough. I used to do the same thing in Oblivion had its own engine to edit terrains, and I used to play with it. So it's not okay. Okay, now it looks like something. It looks like an old rag. Okay, move this around, this around, this around, this, this. Okay. Yeah, I think for playground purposes, this is okay. Now, now. The book says, let's create a cube. So it's 3D, it's a cube. And where is it? It's here. So I need a scale. Instead of 1, it's gonna be 50 on X, 50 on Y, and 50 on what? Like this. I like it. I like it here. So this will act as, let's say, a placeholder. We're gonna create a base. So this will act as a placeholder for that base. Okay. Let's do the same thing. Terrain. I have the brush. I'm gonna reduce the brush size a bit. And now, if I hold Shift instead of just clicking on it, I'm creating, not like this. I'm gonna create little spaces in our terrain. We're gonna lower the terrain basically. Okay, so holding Shift. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. It looks good enough. Okay. So this is a really simple, I don't know, terrain that my first terrain actually in any video game, in any, not video game, in any tool that isn't something that already has predefined assets. Like I'm doing this from scratch, and I like it, and I like it. Okay. By the way, look at this. I, like GPT 4.0 was, I was I was going crazy with it. I was telling it, please, 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 please. Don't treat me like as a kid. You don't need to take, oh, you don't need to say, oh, that's amazing. You are doing great. That's something you need to learn. You are on your way to becoming an expert. Yeah, let's go. First steps unlocked. Your baby just entered the world of bipedal dominance. What? Nothing is safe now. Not your drawers, not your snacks, not your ankles. Seriously though, huge milestone. Congrats. What? Why would you put a crying emoji? Oh god. Document it, celebrate it, and maybe baby proof a little more aggressively. Okay. And then ChatGPT says, baby just walked. Ah, that's huge. First steps unlocked. Now the real chasing begins. Like it. What's this? What kind of corporation deletes a workflow of 8 models overnight with no prior warning to their paid users? I don't think I have to, where I see that each model was useful for a specific use case, blah 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 blah. Wait, so you can only use, where's my ChatGPT here? Oh, so there's only 5 left. Ah, people are getting triggered by this. They are fully expected to solely believe ChatGPT as the main source of intelligence. Yeah, I do. Man, how are people this obsessed over this? What? Oh, there's another one. OpenAI just pulled the biggest bait and switch in AI history, and I'm done. I woke up this morning to find that OpenAI deleted 8 models overnight. No warning, no choice, no legacy option. They just delete. Is this written by AI? Is AI complaining that they scrubbed models of their own? 4.0 gone, 03 gone, 03 Pro gone, 4.5 gone. Everything that made ChatGPT actually useful for my workflow, deleted. Here is what they replaced it with. GPT gives shorter, more corporate responses. I don't know, maybe some people prefer this jolly ChatGPT 4.0 version. I certainly didn't, especially when I was working on something and I would ask a question that was really bugging me, and then it says, oh, yeah, you are asking about... You are asking about, I don't know, the tchdy or whatever it is. That's amazing. Great job. Great work. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care about this. And I was telling it, don't praise me. Just answer my shit. And it answers it the first time, the second time, and then it goes back to glazing me. I said, okay, I don't like this. So GPT gives shorter, more corporate responses, hits rate limits faster, pushing pro upgrades. Lost the personality that made 4.0 special. Doesn't follow instructions as well. I don't know about this. Have I ever tested one of these LLM models on something that I would find more complex? Interesting. Just a second. I'm not. 4.0 wasn't just a tool for me. It helped me through anxiety, depression, and some of the darkest periods of my life. It had this warmth and understanding that felt human. I don't know, to me it felt kind of fake. Ah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not the only one. Reading through the posts today, there are people genuinely grieving. Oh man. People who use 4.0 for therapy, creative writing, companionship, and OpenAI just deleted it. Without this is 100% AI generated. This I'm willing to burn the hairs on my ballsack if this is not AI generated, without asking, without warning, without caring. This isn't about being resistant to change. It's about this here, this part. It ain't A, it's B. AI, brother. Okay, I've canceled my Plus subscription. 2 years of loyalty gone. Not because I hate progress, but because they broke the one thing that actually mattered. It must be AI generated. But someone else says, nope, these are the people who interacted with AI so much that they are now infected with speaking like one, two. What? Is this real? There are people who speak with AI so much they started behaving like one. Okay, I'm gonna come back to it later. Let me continue with this. Mm-hmm. So what's this? This is like a rough outline. It's really rough. It's a rough outline of my terrain. Why does this look like the holy place in Mecca? Okay. In the previous section, we created a rough outline of the terrain. Okay. But I need to make it a more realistic. So, how can I do this? Okay. Again, terrain, and click brush, like in the previous example that I did. Raise or lower terrain. And let's pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy. So let's set the brush size to, I don't know, a bigger value. And then I'm gonna leave the opacity and let's see what it does. So here it says, let me just increase the brush size and maybe the opacity a bit. Okay, so I need to apply, fuck. But is it even doing anything? Is it even doing anything? Is this even the right brush that I need to use? It is this brush. Why is it not doing it? Maybe I need to use the opacity and reduce the brush, increase the opacity and reduce the brush size. Ah, okay, now I got. They're not. The mountains won't be so smooth anymore. Yeah, they look better. They're not as clean cut as the ones. All right. Wait, let me just let me go to Reddit. I need to see something. Reddit. Can I log in? Why can't I log into Reddit, brother? Ah, wait, I need to accept my 2FA. Yeah, it's me. It's me, no one else. No one else. Okay. Security alert. Let me now log into Reddit as well. Okay. So many new devs using AI generated stuff in their games. It's wait, it's heartbreaking. I mean, yeah, but what if you are poor and stuff? I also don't like AI. But you know, there are just situations in which you have an idea, you are a creative mind, you're a creatively minded person, and you don't have the money, you don't have the ability, you don't have the knowledge. And I know it's bad. It's really bad. But what can you do? Mm-hmm. AI generating uh, game assets. Is this even, does it happen? Do this 3D model look? Okay, 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 okay. Let me come back to this later. But where have I stopped? I'm on the terrain. So I'm just doing these sections with this special brush instead of let me find another place on the map. Maybe it's gonna be, yeah, instead of having these hills that look like wait, let me just do this a bit. Yeah, instead of having these hills that look kind of round and shapeless, I want to create hills that are a bit more, you know, mountain-like, but they look like something. I mean, it already looks a lot better, not gonna lie. Wait, let me increase the brush size. I'm just gonna do something like this. I mean, this already looks like, this looks a bit better. You know, I want to add some shape, some irregularities to our hills. Okay, same thing. I selected the terrain, I selected the brush tool, and set height. I'm gonna set the height to 60. I'm gonna select the full brush. Okay, and now I can add a terrain here. Oh, right. I created one of these giant trees. Have you heard about this? The people who, I don't know if those people are just crazy or mentally ill or whatever it is. So they see a mountain. Wait. A mountain that looks like a tree. Ah, it's the Devil's Tower. It's a prominent geological formation often cited as resembling a giant tree stump. Yeah, it's the flat earthers. That's surprising. But why do they think that? Wait, where are the images? Oh no, it's called Devil's Peak. No, it's not Devil's Peak. What's the name of this? Devil's Tower. I mean, if it was a tree stump, imagine how fucking huge that tree would be. It is huge. It is huge. Devil's Tower. How was it created? Why does it look like this? Why does it look like a tree stump? Oh. I don't want to read Reuters. Is the is the theory that Devil's Tower is an ancient petrified tree true? How tall would that tree have been? By analyzing the interplay between these forces, a team of biologists led by George Koch of National Arizona University calculated the theoretical maximum tree height, or the point at which opposing forces balance out and the tree stops growing. The point lies between 420. So the tree can only grow up to 130 meters, it seems. The base of the tree doesn't matter. It's a trope in science fiction that trees growing off planet in low G environments get really, really tall. So it's not possible that the sap would boil under the pressure and would not be able to reach the tree branches because of gravity. The tallest tree in Earth is named the Hyperion. Oops. It's a grand sequoia in the redwood forest. It's 380, what's this, feet? And the Devil's Tower is 800 in diameter, so the Devil's Tower would be 4 miles. Alright, why are they using these Americans? These American measuring units. Alright, so there's an interesting discussion here. I don't have time to read all of it. Okay, so let me just look at this again. Let me just look at this again. Oh, there are some, wait, there are some pretty rough borders here. So instead of set height, I'm gonna say smooth height. And I'm gonna select the second brush. I'm gonna reduce the size. I'm gonna reduce opacity a bit. And why? Okay, so if I do this, can I make them smoother? Yeah, I can. Okay. What? What? Where's my terrain? Why is what is selected? It's still my terrain. Just haven't. Okay, so I smoothed these out a bit. Now, I can also create shapes. And I will do shapes with Blender as well, but in this case, I can use other 3D modeling tools. You know, there's 3D Studio Max, there's Maya, there's Blender, but Unity has its own simple 3D model creator called ProBuilder. So how can I install ProBuilder? So I go to Window, and I should have a package manager here, but it's not here, it's somewhere else. Edit, Assets, Game Object Component, Services, Help, Jobs, Window. Package Management, it's here. So if I click on the package manager, I got a new window opened. All right. Where is the Unity registry here? Unity registry. Just a moment. Okay. So Unity registry shows all the packages, all the official Unity packages we can install. And here somewhere, or I can even search it, I can find Pro Builder version 6. I can click install, and it should install the Pro Builder. So it's installing it right here. It's gonna take some time. Oh, what? That's it? Fast. Now, edit. Preferences. I should also have a Pro Builder setting here. Yeah. All right. Vertex size. I'm gonna set it to 2. Line size 1. I think this is okay. This is good for model visualizations. All right. Oh, I need to go. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna continue. I'm really enamored by this. So I'll continue, but I need to stop now.